Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
Okay, I wanted to let everybody know that they've added Uphold back onto the Link2 platform. Now, I'll have a link in the top of the description of this video for Uphold. I am an Uphold private equity owner myself. In fact, I've bought that pretty actively, so I am major bullish personally on Uphold, but they added some on the platform. I think they also had some Ripple up there. I don't know if they've got any left or not. You'll have to check. Okay, that's for accredited investors, by the way. They are sponsored, but I am a customer. Okay, couple of interesting clips. I was watching, very rarely do I watch other people's videos on YouTube, but I was watching this video from Digital Perspectives. You can go just type in Digital Perspectives on YouTube. Most of you know about him anyway. Brad Combs is his name. All right, so listen to this clip right here.
The court case is suppressing.
Hold on 1 second.
Touched on something here is how the court case is suppressing the price, which I absolutely concur with. And you and I both know we've seen a lot of unusual activity on exchanges, like glitches and things of that nature. And even truthfully, I know a lot of people on certain days, even myself, if you go back to the last all-time high that we had of 384 or 380 plus, whatever it was, you know, a lot of people believe that that was even a stress test on the system at the time, testing things and of that nature, even though the whole market was moving, that it was operating under that understanding to be able to stress test the system. Any thoughts on that, Linda, at all?
Yeah, I mean, from time to time, we do get these price glitches, and it's publicized. We see the number, and we don't know what's causing it, but there has been background discussion that perhaps it's from the private ledger, that the stress testing comes from the private ledger, and it spills over into the retail side and causes these glitches. We don't know if that's true, but it kind of makes a logical reason to me. It's a logical explanation of what could be happening there.
Wow, that's Linda P. Jones. Interesting stuff. Now, Brad Combs on Digital Perspectives was not done yet, because he also had Jimmy Valley on there. What they did is, and for those of you that have been around for a while, you remember this. What they did is, they took the Susan Athey and Robbie Mitchnick, who was at Ripple when he was at Stanford. They did a calculator for the price of XRP. They did it at Stanford, is my understanding. Well, that calculator, somebody took that calculator and they turned it into a website using their calculator. And Robbie Mitchnick, of course, later went on to BlackRock. Susan Athey's still on the board of directors at Ripple. Okay, so, but if you look at this is where when you watch the video from Digital Perspectives, this is where they're getting the information. Is this all of the world's money and markets and visualization? They're saying, okay, let's assume that all of this is going to be involved in XRP, and they're running a very fascinating calculation. Look, I'm not sitting here telling you that the XRP price is going to go to this. I just think it's a fascinating exercise they went through. Watch.
I want to remind people that just a few weeks ago in the Sunshine Meeting Act with the SEC, they just voted to shorten the settlement time of the derivatives market and to use distributed ledger technology. Derivatives market shown here as of 2020 of this article, $558.5 trillion. That's a number we're really working with. That's a number that the SEC is going to be settling.
So Brad, we brought that number down.
Okay.
I think that one, in our model in 2021, what we used was 582 trillion.
Well, and we're going to think about it and also plugging some of these numbers very quickly, these very real numbers, by the way, into this Susan Athey calculator from the Ripple board. And we're only going to add just that number and leave the rest of the default settings alone in just 1 second. Linda, and get going here.
Well, I think this is a very thoughtful form of calculation. We're using real numbers. These are things that definitely would come into play. And, I think what Jimmy did was basically propose that the old system of, what we have under the dollar right now is something that is broken and needs to be fixed. It's basically, at a point where it is going to be reset. And so his proposal to the Fed was, what is a fair value in order to do that? And XRP is the unique asset that can help it start over and start a fresh system that's completely new and do it at a fair value. So that's what we're talking about today.
Calculator up here. This is the Susan Athey, Robert Mitchnick, Board of Directors, Susan Athey, Robert Mitchnick, who's now the head of digital assets at BlackRock, for goodness sakes. And there was also a global debt number, Jimmy. You guys had brought that number down. On the diagram, it was 253 trillion, but I think you guys had a more accurate number. Do you have that handy?
So that number was 281 trillion.
Okay, well, I just plugged that number in. I left every other number exactly the same as it was in the default settings of the calculator that the Ripple board member made. And I'm going to hit calculate. Let's see what we get. $18,739.33 value of XRP at just the global debt number that is accurate from your research from that article and getting more accurate figures at $281 trillion worth of global debt running through XRP. This is what we're talking about.
All right, now here's the interesting thing for me and that you should realize in what you just watched. And this is from my perspective. And I'm not saying that the price of XRP is going to go to that place. I think that what we're talking about is percentages in terms of world use. But here's what I am saying. The people in that clip right there, I've personally spoken to every single one of them. Linda P. Jones, Jimmy Valley, Brad Combs. These aren't crazy people. These are not dumb people. Linda Jones, my understanding, is a 25-year veteran of Wall Street. Jimmy Valley's I think he's like an investment banker. This is not a dumb guy. I've talked to him about his proposal to the Fed, and I've talked to both of them. These are not crazy people. These are not people that would just come up with something for attention. They don't need the attention. That's what fascinates me about the conversation you just watched. Okay, now, the Chamber of Digital Commerce is promoting the DC Blockchain Summit 2022. I asked them what I think is a great question is why not invite John Deaton? We've heard no response yet. Here's some of the people that are going to be there. Tom Emmer, Stephen Lynch, a lot of these are politicians. Darren Soto, Hester Pierce will be there. Perry Ann Boring will be there. She's fully aware. So they'll have a guy from Shark Tank, but not John Deaton, who's ground zero for the crypto regulatory fight. Next, I said this because Mr. B, XRP, had put this out. Based on Ashish Burla's recent statement, we are close to having global ODL coverage, which is super exciting. Here's a map showing that approximate coverage in blue. Mr. B is illustrating an excellent point right here. So here Ripple is, the whole world is going to be running global ODL, except for one country, United States of America. So I said, who is Gary Gensler working for? Pretty clear it's not investors or the U.S. Who is he working for? That's a legitimate question I have. All right, then I had a thought yesterday, and that is, where are the plaintiff attorneys in this Ethereum thing? And I want you to follow my logic here. In the course, remember when this all started, the whole market had the perception that Ethereum was not a security. But in the course of the court case with Ripple, the SEC on the record has said that there has been no determination as to whether Ethereum is a security. So the question then is, where are the Ethereum lawsuits? Because remember, Ripple has been sued by several firms saying that XRP is a security even before the SEC lawsuit. Where's the plaintiff attorneys that are now, because the plaintiff attorneys for Ethereum now have in their hand the SEC on the record in court saying that they haven't determined whether it's a security. Where are the plaintiff attorneys suing, like Jeremy Hogan here says, he says, sue the Ethereum Foundation for selling unregistered securities and cite to the Ripple versus SEC case at every opportunity. Don't tempt me, DAI, don't tempt me. So Jeremy Hogan locked in on exactly what I was saying. If these attorneys now have it on the record, you see the catch-22 that the SEC has put themselves into, because they're obviously trying to protect Ethereum. But at the same time, they've opened it wide open to lawsuits. That right there is a big problem for them. And imagine if the lawsuits started right in the middle of the Ripple case. Then the SEC is going to be in a position where wait a minute, do they have to go and weigh in on what Ethereum is all of a sudden? Does Gary Gensler all of a sudden have to answer the question what Ethereum is to keep the Ethereum Foundation from getting sued? That obviously seems to be one of the organizations he seems to be protecting. And then there was these are funny things that Reuters had picked up about the library case. Blockchain publishing company Library accused the SEC of selling unregistered securities, tweeted on March 16th that it is done being nice and that it would engage in psychological warfare as it fights the lawsuit. But then this one's even funnier. Crypto company jokes about using garlic to ward off the SEC. They called the SEC a monster. They called the people at the SEC monsters. That was so funny. Okay. And then you got the Blockchain Caucus and Tom Emmer. This is from Fortune magazine. the Congressional Blockchain Caucus and why it's clashing with the SEC over crypto. You got a whole article about that. I'm kind of just hitting the high points here, folks, because I don't want to make this too long. And then you got, remember the guy that was the the advisor, I think, what do they call it? The SEC Advisory Committee. He was on that committee, and then he was leaving the other day, and in the video, he takes a shot at Gary Gensler and talks about how he disagrees with everything. And then I think the very next day, he puts this tweet out, sharing my Law 360 piece today, challenging the SEC's abuse of the Howey test in its case against Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse. Also, a thread on how the SEC may be making an epic mistake that I've tried to relay to Gary Gensler while on his advisory committee. So this guy is totally throwing Gary Gensler under the bus, which good for him. That's what I've been asking. Where are the good guys at the SEC? Where are the whistleblowers? It says SEC Gary Gensler has stated, this is his write-up. Gary Gensler has stated in public comments and in congressional testimony that at least one of the hundreds of tokens listed on the most digital asset exchanges must be a security, therefore requiring crypto exchanges to register with the SEC. Yet, when Gensler is asked by members of Congress to provide more guidance about what he means, which tokens are securities and why they are deemed so, he will often respond that the SEC doesn't give legal advice. This sort of gotcha game is inconsistent with the rule of law and the principles of a free society. It is anti-American is what it is, man. I mean, let's face it. This guy, Gary Gensler's nowhere near looking after U.S. citizens and U.S. investors. This guy's working for somebody else, not us. Write it down. Then John Deaton tweets his article, his outstanding article regarding the danger of Gary Gensler and the SEC's overbroad application of the Howey test to digital assets. JW recognizes that most first-time purchasers of XRP were unaware of the company Ripple. And then this JD guy replies and he says to John Deaton, he says, your brief inspired a lot of my thinking about problems with the Howey test. So this guy has totally given the middle finger to Gary Gensler. The question is this. There are over 4,000 people working at the SEC. SEC versus Ripple case has obviously become a nightmare of conflicts and potential for investigation. Are you telling me that in 2022 there's only one good person affiliated with the SEC who has the guts to call Gary out? Is that what you're telling me? No way. I don't believe it. As of right now, I believe it, but I don't believe it. There's got to be some other people there who are sick of what this guy's trying to pull. Stuart Alderati had done an op-ed, I guess you'd call it, less than a quarter into 22. There's no doubt in my mind this is the year where all eyes will be on crypto regulation. I pinned an op-ed for RC Markets. Let me give them a follow.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.